Okay, in this video I want to talk about the difference between riding bareback and riding with a saddle. As for me, I tried everything there is to try in riding horses. I tried riding with a saddle, I tried riding bareback, I tried many things. In my opinion, riding bareback forces you to ride in the right way, in the natural way, in the best way. It forces you to do it. It doesn't just give you a chance to ride in a better way, it forces you to ride in the right way, in the best way, or you will fall down from the horse. So in my opinion, I try to ride bareback as much as I can because it will make you learn the natural balance in a faster way than the saddle, because there is no help from the saddle. If you do not ride in the right way, in the best way, you will just fall down. So that's what I do right now. But in my opinion, when you look at bareback and riding with a saddle, many people say that bareback is bad or wrong or whatever, but to be fair, you have to judge bareback riding and riding with a saddle and look at both good things and bad things in both riding bareback and riding with a saddle. Like, to be fair, when you judge between the two, you look at the bad things in both of them and in the good things in both of them. So I will start with riding bareback. In my opinion, the bad thing about riding bareback is actually just one thing. There is nothing else, just one thing. And it's not something that will happen with any horse. It just might happen with some horses, weak horses, or horses who do not have strong backs. But it will not happen with all the horses. And that problem is, some horses will have some pain in the middle of the back. Not the bottom of the back or the end of the back, not the front of the back, the middle of the back, because you are riding without a saddle, you are pumping up and down in the same area, same place for a long time, so he might have a small swelling over here and will cause him a little pain. It will not really hurt him, but there will be some pain in it. Not all horses, just some horses, like 30% or 25% from horses that you ride bareback might have a problem in the middle of the back. Not a major problem, not a big problem, but it just might be a little problem. And that's it. There is nothing bad about riding bareback other than that. Now we look at the bad things in riding with a saddle, to be fair. One, you have the same problem in the saddle, especially if it's not a good saddle. If you are pumping up and down with the saddle, the same thing will happen in the middle of the back of the horse. Not as much as it happened with bareback, but it might happen also even when you are riding with a saddle. Two, it might happen also in the front of the back of the horse, like the area between his neck and between his back, this area over here. So one, in the middle of the back, two, in the front of the back, which is the area between the neck and the back, because of the saddle. Like, imagine that you are carrying a backpack. It will hurt your shoulders, especially if it's heavy when you are walking. It's not like walking free without a back on your back. If you are wearing a backpack on your shoulders, it might hurt your shoulders. So the same goes for the horse. When you put a saddle on his shoulders, on his back, he will not move in a free way like he is when you are riding him bareback. Three, the end of the back or the bottom of the back might get injured too because of the end of the saddle. It's like carrying a backpack and in the bottom of the back there is a heavy book. That heavy book might hurt the bottom of your back. The same goes for the horse. If it's a big saddle, a heavy saddle, stupid saddle, it might hurt the end or the bottom of the horse's back. And the kidney in the horse is in this area over here, in the end of his back, the bottom of his back. So it might do something to the kidney too. So one in the middle, two in the front, three in the end or in the bottom of the back. Four, you have the problem of the stirrups. The stirrups are tied to the saddle from the inside. That means when you put your weight on the stirrups, when you ride the horse, all the weight will be pushing the horse down to the ground, on his back. It's like, imagine that you are putting a saddle on you and you let a little kid or girl sit on the saddle and put her weight on the stirrups. The saddle is pushing your body into the ground, and that's a problem. especially for horses. It's against their nature. So when you put your pressure, your weight on the stirrups, the saddle is moving down, everything with the saddle is moving down, the horse is feeling weak and uncomfortable. It's not normal or natural for horses to be in that position, and that's way. 5, you have the problem of the girth, or the belt of the saddle, the girth. Because the girth is tying the saddle to his body, and he cannot do anything about it. Like you can ride the horse whenever you want, you can get off the horse whenever you want, but he cannot take the saddle away from his body until you do it for him. So that means the saddle is attached and tied to your body, and I am the one controlling the saddle. I can take it off from your back and put it on your back whenever I want. But I can get off the saddle whenever I want, and I can get on the saddle whenever I want. So it's not fair. It's something on him, but he cannot use it against you. Like the bit or the bridle, he can use it against you. It's something between you and him, something that will connect your hand to his mouth. So he can use it against you if you are a bad rider. But with the saddle, it's just something attached or tied to his back. You just hop on the saddle, ride on the saddle, get off the saddle, and he cannot do anything about it. So it's not fair. So 5 is the girth or the belt of the saddle. 6, you have the weight. You have an extra weight on top of the horse, extra on your weight. So you have the weight of the rider, then you have the weight of the saddle. So it will be a little bit heavy on the horse, especially if the horse is light or the saddle is very heavy for him or very big for him. So you have 5 things or 6 things. The middle of the back, the top of the back, the bottom or the end of the back, then you have the stirrups, you have the girth, you have the weight. Riding bareback, you just have the problem in the middle of the back, and that's it. Now you look at the good things, or the good side of riding bareback and riding with a saddle. If you look at riding with a saddle, the good thing about riding with a saddle can be actually many things, but it cannot be for the horse. All these good things are for you, not for the horse. It's more comfortable for you. It's more clean for you. It will make you feel more comfortable, okay, but it's not better for the horse. Riding with a saddle cannot be better for the horse. Real horsemen will tell you that. They say we ride with a saddle because we are more comfortable, and when we are more comfortable, the horse will be more comfortable, so we are doing it for the horse. But they cannot say that riding with a saddle is more comfortable for the horse directly. That's impossible. It's a fact that you cannot change. You cannot have an opinion about a fact. A fact is a fact. The fact says horses like riding bareback more than riding with a saddle because the saddle is against their nature. That's a fact that no one can deny. That's why when people in the past were hunting horses, then they started to ride horses, they did not create the saddle. They rode horses bareback. Then they rode horses with pads, saddle pads only. Then they rode horses with saddles without stirrups. Then they created the stirrups, the wooden stirrups. Then they created the metal stirrups or stainless steel stirrups. So with time they created the saddle. And people create things that will make them comfortable, not other creatures. They always think about themselves, not other creatures. That's a fact. So the saddle was made for you. Okay, it made you more comfortable, and when you are more comfortable, the horse is more comfortable. That's a fact. But you cannot say that riding with a saddle will make the horse more comfortable. That's impossible. You cannot change a fact. Do not give your opinion about a fact. The fact says horses like bareback more than the saddle because it's their nature to be ridden bareback. So any good thing in riding with a saddle is for the riders. So it depends on your way of riding or your school of riding. Some people will say a good thing in the saddle is it will make you comfortable. Some people will say it will make you a little bit far from the horse, far from the body of the horse, so it's more clean for you. Some people say I just like it. Some people say that the moves that we want to do with the horse are easier if you ride with the saddle. So a lot of good things can happen when you ride on the saddle or with the saddle or in the saddle, but all these good things are for you, not for the horse. Of course, when you do good things for you, these good things might be good for the horse in the future, but it cannot be good for the horse directly. Now we talk about the good things in riding bareback. The first thing and the most important thing, in my opinion, and it's a fact, there is no opinion about it, it's more comfortable for the horse. It's closer to the nature of the horse. That's a fact. No one will deny it, especially good riders. In my opinion, even bad riders who ride in a wrong way will say that riding bareback is closer to the nature of the horse. You cannot deny that. So this is one. It's closer to his nature. It's more comfortable for the horse. 3 or 2. It makes you ride in the best way or in the right way, or you will fall down. It forces you to learn the natural balance, the natural way of riding. It forces you to do it. It doesn't give you a chance to ride in a wrong way, because if you do that, you will lose your balance, you might fall down. So riding bareback will force you to become better in a faster way. That's why all horsemen will ride bareback if you ask them to do it. They can do it. He will say that in my way, riding with a saddle is better, okay. But if you ask him to ride the horse bareback, he will do it immediately, or he's not a good rider. And most of real horsemen used to ride bareback, or even without a bridle, bridleless, in the beginning, when they were beginners, when they started riding horses. So riding bareback teaches you how to learn the natural balance, teaches you how to learn the natural horsemanship, teaches you how to learn the good ways of riding, the right ways of riding, and actually it forces you to do it, or you will fall down or lose your balance. So it makes you become a better rider in a much faster way. So you have 3 or 4 main things. It's more comfortable for the horse, it's closer to his nature, it forces you to do the right thing, it doesn't give you a chance. So it makes you become a better rider in a faster way. And it makes you, or lets you feel the horse more than the saddle, because you are closer to his back when you are riding bareback. There is nothing between you and between the horse. But with the saddle, you are like riding a camel or riding an elephant. They put something like a chair, and they sit on the chair. So the chair is between you and the elephant, or between you and between the camel. So with horses, you have a chair, they call it the saddle, and it's between you and the horse. So when you are closer to the horse, your body is connected to the horse. It's better for the horse, there is no doubt about it. And in my opinion, for you, if you want to ride in the natural way of riding, without any help from the saddle, any interfering from the saddle. So riding bareback, in my opinion, is more natural, and there is no opinion about it because it's a fact. Riding bareback is something that most, or maybe all, real horsemen do when they are starting to ride horses, when they were beginners in the past. And riding bareback is something that all horsemen right now will do it if you ask them to do it. If someone says, I cannot ride the horse bareback, I will fall or I will lose my balance, then he's not a real horseman. As for riding with the saddle, okay, say it's better for you, it's more clean for you, it's more comfortable for you, it's better for what you do, no problem. But do not say it's better for the horse. Do not say it's good for the horse. Do not say that the horse will choose it. Do not change a fact. Do not say an opinion about the fact. The fact says all horse people, all horsemen say that horses like riding bareback more than riding with a saddle. It's a fact that you cannot change. So most people cannot ride bareback, so they talk about the bad things about bareback. And as we said, it's just one thing. There is nothing else. Just the middle of the back might get hurt. You will have a small swelling in the middle of the back with some horses, 25% or 30% of the horses you ride will have a small swelling in the middle of the back. It might hurt them when you touch it. That's all. There is nothing else. So they talk about the bad thing in riding bareback, which is just one thing, and they do not talk about the good things of riding bareback. And they talk about the good things in riding with a saddle, but they do not talk about the bad things in riding with a saddle. That's not fair. Talk about the good things, the bad things, the bad things. Don't judge. In the bareback, you have more good things and less bad things. With the saddle, less good things, more bad things. So it's simple. You don't have to be a good rider to judge that. It's okay to choose. It's okay to say your opinion. It's okay to do whatever you want. But it's not okay to change a fact, to say an opinion about a fact, to lie to people. Just because you cannot do it, does not give you the right to say bad things about it. Of course, you can say whatever you want, but when you are saying that to a real horseman, a real rider, a good rider, he knows that you are just saying a wrong thing or lying or whatever, but you are saying it to bad riders or beginners, so they believe you. They believe what you are saying. So they become bad riders or wrong riders or bad riders who ride in a wrong way like you because of you. Do not teach people the wrong ways of riding. If you want to do something wrong, go ahead and do it, but do not teach people how to do it also. So if you are saying you want to ride with a saddle, it's okay. But if you cannot ride bareback, like in a real way, like ride bareback and do the same things that you do with a saddle, like you stop the horse, move the horse, canter the horse, gallop the horse, control the horse, do the same things that you do with the saddle, but you do it bareback. If you cannot do that, then do not talk about bareback, because you do not have the right to talk about it. You do not have the right to talk about something until you do it. You do it, then you stop doing it, then you say bad things about it. But if you are saying bad things about it and you cannot do it, people will say that you are saying bad things about it because you cannot do it. It's that simple. It's very simple. It doesn't need a real horseman, a good rider, to say that. Any normal guy will say that if you are saying bad things about something that you cannot do, then you are saying the bad things because you cannot do it. Not because you are saying something truth or something right. You are not saying the truth. You are not saying the right thing. You are just saying something about something that you cannot do. So your excuse is it's a bad thing, it's a wrong thing, it's not beautiful, I don't want to do it. So it's very simple. Prove to me that you can do it just once. Then say bad things about it. Talk about it as much as you want. But if you talk about it and say bad things or good things, but without proving that you can do it, that means you are wrong or you are lying. It's very simple. So in my opinion, a good rider will ride bareback and with a saddle whenever you ask him to. So a good rider is a good rider, bareback or not. A bad rider is a bad rider, bareback or not. So the bareback and the saddle makes no difference if you are a real horseman, a real rider. And the bareback or riding with a saddle makes no difference if you are a bad rider. So at the end, the saddle makes no real difference. There is difference, but it's not real difference for real horsemen. But bad riders who ride in a wrong way of riding cannot ride bareback in the same way that they ride when they are using a saddle. Like they cannot do the same things that they do with the saddle when they ride bareback. But horsemen can do that. All the schools of horsemanship, the right schools of horsemanship, the real horsemanship, like the Western way of riding, Spanish way of riding, French riding school, they all ride bareback in the beginning when they start riding horses. And they actually do it again and again. Even when they start to ride with the saddle, sometimes they ride bareback. So all horsemen, with no exception, start riding horses bareback and ride bareback in the future, from time to time. So bareback or not, they are good riders. But bad riders cannot ride without a saddle. So when a horseman talks about riding bareback, he has the right to do that because he proves it. He proved it and he will prove it in the future. But if you did not prove it, you are not proving it, and you will not prove it in the future, you do not have the right to speak about it. So that's my opinion about riding bareback and riding without, or riding with a saddle. In my opinion, riding bareback is much better because you have more good things and less bad things. Riding bareback forces you to learn the natural balance, the natural horsemanship, forces you to ride in the right way, in the best way, or you will lose your balance or you will fall down. Riding with the saddle will help you to do it in a long time, so you just take your time and be comfortable and be safe, and there is nothing bad that will happen to you. Saddle is doing everything for you, like the saddle is helping you with the horse. So you will not become a good rider in a faster way. You will take your time. And that's my opinion.